All right, so let's go ahead and jump in. I'll go ahead and start with this audit by checking our conversion tracking first. So anytime I'm doing an audit, I always want to know what are we actually tracking, right? Because I see the numbers here. Over 90 days, we spent around $7,000, 18 leads, roughly a $400 cost per lead. Not the prettiest, but at least you're getting leads, right? Now, let's go ahead and make sure that we are properly tracking everything so that this number is accurate, and then we can jump into the rest. All right, we are just tracking form submissions, so that is definitely problem number one. It doesn't appear that we are tracking calls at all. I say that because we have no calls. I find it hard to believe you haven't gotten a single phone call from your ad in 90 days. So it's likely that the conversion tracking isn't set up. Let's go ahead and take a look at our conversion goals right now because we do have forms, but I'm not seeing any phone calls. So let's make sure there's no problems on that front first. All right, I see our conversion goal here. That's fine. It says needs attention. Might be worth double checking to make sure that it is still active. It looks like it hasn't recorded a conversion in 20 days. Again, perhaps you haven't had a single lead in 20 days, or something changed and this conversion goal no longer works. Now you do have a calls from ad extension, meaning the conversion goal is set up, looks fine. So you probably just haven't generated a phone call from your lead or from your campaign, which is pretty strange. However, what I will flag is that you do not have website call tracking set up. So you need to be tracking website calls, meaning when someone clicks through to your ad, I'm sure most people, if not filling out a form, they are going to directly call you. There's probably a call CT on your website right here, right? Call for a free estimate, meaning every person who calls that number on your website from your Google Ads is not being tracked. That is just as important, if not more important, than people who are filling out forms, right? A lead is a lead. So ensure that you are tracking these people. So you have form tracking set up, you have extension calls, you're just not getting any, but you do not have website call tracking properly set up. Next, absolutely make sure you enable enhanced conversions for leads. That is always a good ploy. Checking out a couple other campaign settings here. Account settings look good. Let's hop into the actual campaign now, conversion tracking aside, and see what's missing and what we're doing right. So we're on max conversions. I will say we really don't have a ton of conversion data here, but I'm going to go ahead and say just keep it for now. We do have 18 form submissions on max conversions, and we are going to go ahead and make a push to improve things after this audit, of course, right? So just keep it for now. Just be wary, right? And we'll check your cost per click here soon, make sure all is good. Targeting looks good, no issues there. We can go ahead and move forward. What is your cost per click? Oh yeah, that's okay. You got a $3 cost per click, and you spend $100 a day. That's great. Now, first thing, before I dive in further, I will say it doesn't look like you're running local service ads. If you are not running local service ads here, you are missing out on so many jobs and so much opportunity. Okay. We can further discuss it separately, but if you aren't running local service ads, you either better start running them today and get set up or reach out to me and let me know and I will help you. But local service ads are an absolute must, especially for the services you offer here, being pool remodels, renovations, probably custom builds, pool resurfacing, and pool decking. All of that can be hit on local service ads, and they'll probably perform and outperform your pay-per-click. So look into that and get that set up if it's not already running. I can tell that it's probably not running because there is no additional spend. It's only this campaign, unless you're running it somewhere else, but I doubt it. Now, off the bat, a couple things here, right? So first, you have mixed targeting in this one campaign. Me personally, right, if this was my account or my client, I wouldn't want to be targeting pool remodeling, renovation, and custom builds inside a campaign that's also going for pool resurfacing and decking. I would probably isolate these into two campaigns. I'd have our bread and butter or our primary campaign being pool remodel and renovation. Anything pool remodeling, pool renovation, all of those keywords in ad groups, they live right here in this campaign. Then a second campaign to house the lower ticket or the other variation of services you offer, being pool resurfacing, pool decking, whatever it may be. So these two ad groups honestly should go in a separate campaign. Have a second campaign, maybe split the budget 70-30. If you can increase your budget, that'd be ideal. But I wouldn't want these to be in here. Now, another follow-up is keep in mind that the decking ad group has yielded practically zero leads. I would go ahead and say that you have, I mean, just look at the cost per conversion compared to the cost. I know it has said it dealt half of a lead. I'm not going to count that. Let's just say zero. That means you've spent $700 here to yield zero leads. You got to turn that off or figure that out, right? And then obviously these other numbers aren't so pretty here, right? We'll go ahead and take a look at the keywords and the targeting first to go ahead and see what could be causing that. But I think you definitely need some better campaign segmentation here, or honestly, just more focus. If additional budget is not an option, I mean, you may be best just focusing purely on these two for now and get rid of decking because that's not working. Whereas these two at least are working. A $350 cost per lead is a lot better than the $700 cost per lead. So, keep your focus on what's working. Now, if we take a look at your keywords, this is one of the first things I noticed and instantly flagged. We're targeting a lot of random stuff, and it feels like we're targeting a lot of competitors almost, right? So if I scroll through this, first of all, you're targeting branded. Freedom Waters Pools, that's your company, right? You're targeting your company in your non-brand, your generic campaign. If you want to target yourself, that's fine. If you want a branded campaign, that's fine. Just do it in a branded campaign. Don't put this in your main campaign. Pebble Tech Pool, CDC Pools, I don't know. To me, that sounds like a competitor. I'm not sure, but that also doesn't really sound like a high intent search, right? Is someone looking for resurfacing and pool model renovation going to search these two things? Probably not. That's probably a competitor. And again, that's fine if you want to target competitors, but that should also be in a separate, isolated campaign for competitors only. And I don't think you have the budget to play around with that kind of stuff yet. Other keywords are good, like this is good. These are all good. Then you get to this one again, exact same issue. Above and beyond pool remodeling reviews, broad match. Not a fan of broad match. That's also a weird thing to target. Now, I will say it is a little strange that it did yield 2 conversions. I don't know if that's accurate or not, but hey, if that is accurate, okay, just keep it for a little bit longer, but just keep an eye on it. That's really not an ideal keyword at all. And then everything else here, I mean, honestly, there's just more and more competitors. Cactus Pool, Sun State, right? Dolphin Pools. I know these are all competitors and stuff. So, I'm also local. So I've seen some of these guys around. Yeah, if you're going to target competitors, you either do it separately in a different campaign or you just don't do it at all, right? And then as for your other keywords, I mean, they're decent keywords, right? They're good. I think you are mixing a little bit too heavily into broad match. I think you need to fix that. I think you should go phrase and exact match over. I think you really just need better direction and guidance. These keywords are kind of all over the place. You have a lot of good keywords and you have a lot of bad keywords, right? Clean this up. Better ad group segmentation, better ad group structure. Pool remodeling is one ad group. Pool renovation is a second ad group. Pool deck refinishing is a third ad group, right? Pool makeovers a fourth ad group. Stuff like that, right? Target ad group segmentation by theme and search intent. Okay, so some cleanup here is definitely needed. Let's take a quick look at how the search terms look, and that'll tell us a lot as well, right? Looking through this, kind of looks like you're just going in and adding any search term in and just clicking add, right? Which is really not a good thing. And a lot of these searches here seem very low intent, like pool tile, CDC pools, pool decking options, right? Travertine tile, pool remodel ideas before and after, ideas again. You have ideas again, right? A lot of these searches seem very low intent or informational. Um, they're not very high intent at all. Like people looking for pictures, people looking for paint, people looking for the process, people looking for how to, right? People looking for competitors. These are very low intent and not going to convert searches. So you definitely got to do a lot of revising here on your actual target, your negatives, your keywords, your ad groups, and all that stuff. That's going to be probably a heavy focus here, okay? Looking at the negatives, exact same thing. I kind of already could tell this. There's like no negatives here. You should have a negative keyword list of a couple hundred negatives before you even go live, okay? So go through, make a negative keyword list. You can even use AI, plug in your search terms, and boom, right? Tell it what you do and you got it. But you definitely need to have a lot of negatives here or a negative keyword list of some sort, okay? Going through the assets and extensions, let's make sure you got images, all good. Site links should be included as well. Looks like you do have your assets and extensions set up pretty well here, so I'm not going to complain too much. Looks like you do also have the call extension. You just haven't generated any calls. Let's make sure this is working. That is working. Now I do see this error at the top here. Let's go ahead and make sure that's not actually an issue. Wow. Okay. There you go. Well, we just figured out why you're not getting calls. So you haven't accepted the call messaging ad terms, which means that you're basically just not eligible to get calls from Google until you accept this. So absolutely go in and accept that. Otherwise, you will not get calls from your ads. And that explains why you haven't had any and why they're not recording. So that's also a really big deal. Make sure you accept that so you can get phone calls. Now, lastly, as far as we're sending traffic to, we are just sending them straight to the website, which is fine. I do like your website. It's a pretty website, by the way, so it's good. It's simple. It's pretty basic. It really isn't anything kick ass or special, but it gets the job done, right? Now, for driving pay per click or marketing to it, I don't know if it's worthy for ads. You might want to have in fact, you do want to have a dedicated landing page for ads, as well as a dedicated landing page for service. Remember, someone who is looking to remodel their pool versus resurface versus just simply cover pool decking are three entirely different services and three entirely different intents. So they should be sent to a relative landing page based on what they're looking for. If I'm looking for pool decking, I better be taking to Freedom Water Pools pool decking landing page, right? Not the home page, not a service page. I want to go to a dedicated landing page that is designed to convert. Okay. And obviously, it has to be specific. Everything has to be specific. Same with the ads. If I'm looking for pool decking, I better see an ad that says pool decking, right? Which you did cover that pretty well. Your ads look good. It's more so the landing page that needs fixed. So we definitely got to fix our tracking here. You got to accept the column messaging ad terms. I would recommend multiple new revised dedicated landing pages, fix the conversion tracking, and heavy cleanup on the keywords, the adverbs, the structure, and the negatives. And you'll be in a much, much better spot. And last but not least, do not forget about running local service ads as soon as you can. Go ahead and look into that like immediately. Obviously, if you have any other questions, just reach out to me. More than happy to help.